What is up, guys? I am so unbelievably excited to be bringing you this Stranger Things inspired Demogorgon girl today in honor of Stranger Things Season 2, which is now out on Netflix. And you already know I'm about to binge watch the fuck out of it after I'm done editing this video. I loved the first season of Stranger Things, and I really wanted to do a look inspired from the show, and then I saw this drawing by the artist Saxtree. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, I saw that on Instagram, and so I decided to kind of combine elements of that drawing, 11, and the Demogorgon to get this kind of creepy, cute Demogorgon girl look. Like, if the Demogorgon had a cute younger sister, that would be me. Also, a huge thank you to my lovely boyfriend Clinton Golden, who not only filmed and edited the entire intro, but he also made the alphabet wall prop for me as well.
Hey, that's me! I know that I can hear you say my name. That was real sweet, thanks.
I love you.
I love you.
He is a fucking angel and I'm blessed to have him. I wouldn't be able to do all the quality videos I do if it weren't for his help and support. Anyways, enough of the mush, let's jump into the tutorial. So I decided to mold this eye prosthetic off of my face since it's going to be obstructing my vision pretty heavily once it's on, and I wanted to get as much of it done off of my face. I also just felt like I would be able to get a way more detailed piece this way. You could try to mold this directly onto your face if you want to, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Also, the easiest way to do this would be to mold directly onto a face cast or a curved surface, but because I had neither of those, I'm molding onto this cutting board. For the first part of this makeup, you're going to need a few things before we start getting spooky. You're going to need liquid latex, which you can get online or from most Halloween pop-up stores. I personally got mine from Spirit Halloween. Cotton balls, oven baked clay, super glue, cream paints, and fake blood. You can use any type of fake blood you want. I chose to use a mixture of scab blood and gel blood because those are my two favorites. This is my first time molding a prosthetic with latex and cotton, but I'm going to try my best to explain what I did. Because I'm not molding this onto a face cast, I'm starting off by taking a paper towel and making a basic pattern that I sized to fit my face. I then applied a layer of liquid latex down on my work surface to stick it to and create a base for this mold. Also, I chose to use my finger for this. You could use a cosmetic sponge or really any tool you have to apply the latex. I just personally found that it was easiest for me to do it with my finger. Once I have my paper towel stuck down, I'm saturating that in another layer of liquid latex, then using a blow dryer to dry the layers in between. I don't show every time I use the blow dryer, but from here on out I'm using it after every layer so that I can speed up my work time. Then to start building up the edges, I'm laying down some liquid latex and then putting down a thin rolled out piece of cotton over top of that and then saturating it fully so I can start manipulating the shape. I'm just looking at a reference image of the Demogorgon with its mouth open so I can try and keep the shape similar. Once I have all my edges started, I decided to put a little bit of cotton all over the inside and coat that with liquid latex just to build it up a bit. I'm then just repeating that process, going over all of the edges again to keep building them up. Optional ramen break because you need to keep your strengths up. I then started to form the circle shape in the middle, building it up the same way I did with the edges. I really wanted to give the outside the effect that this was a mouth that was opening, so I took thin layers of cotton on the edges and just kind of molded them up, keeping them pretty thin. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. I did the same thing to the middle circle as well. Then I just decided to put a generous amount of liquid latex around the entire prosthetic so that when I peel it up later, I'll have a good base and good edges to work with. Blow dry that because ain't nobody got time to wait 2 hours for it to dry on its own. Moving on to the teeth, this was without a doubt the most tedious process of this entire piece, but I think it was definitely worth it. We decided to mold all of the teeth out of oven-baked clay. I wouldn't recommend using air-dry clay for this because you really want these teeth to look sharp and stay that shape. Basically, we just rolled out these little noodles, picked off pieces that were big enough to be the teeth, and then just kind of twirled them in our fingers to sharpen the tips. Luckily, I have a loving boyfriend here to help me with this stuff, which definitely cut down how long this took. We made about 60 teeth total, but I think I only ended up using about 40. I just would rather always have extra of something and not need them than to need it and not have it. Pop these babies in the oven. We only left ours in for about 5 minutes, but because they were so small, that worked perfectly. So I thought I was recording when I peeled this piece up, but my camera felt more like fuck you instead of let's work, so I don't have the footage. But basically I covered the entire piece in translucent setting powder to take away the stickiness and shine. Then found the edge so I could start peeling up and brushed more translucent powder underneath as I went along to help it release. I just went super slow so that I didn't rip any of the edges or ruin the piece. I would definitely recommend peeling this piece up before you start painting it because it will be substantially harder to get it up once it's covered in paint. That is just a mess waiting to happen. So I'm starting with some of my regular foundation and I'm painting all over the edges with that first. Then taking a light red cream paint, I'm going into the center of all of the mouth holes. Yeah, we'll call them mouth holes. I'm taking a dark red cream paint all over that to start deepening that area. Then taking my purple cream paint, I'm putting that all along the edges, then going back in and blending it out with the same brush I used to apply the foundation. I then just added some black cream paint to the middles to deepen it even more. Remember when we spent 30 minutes sculpting these little teeny tiny teeth? Well, next is gluing them all in. I used super glue to do this, and I'm just laying down a line of glue, then pressing all the teeth in, lining the edges. The hardest part was definitely the middle, and I think if you have a pair of tweezers, that would probably make this process a lot easier. Also, because nothing is complete without fake blood, I went in first with some gel blood and put that all along the inside of the mouth holes. Then I just decided to discolor this teeth with a little bit of yellow cream paint. And don't come for these teeth, okay? There is no dental insurance in the Upside Down, so you just gotta make do with what you got, you know? Anyways, now we need to make these teeth look like we definitely ate a few people today, so I just took some scab blood on a teeny brush and put that all along the bottoms of the teeth and the edge of the prosthetic. And yeah, that is pretty much how I made this homemade prosthetic. Now it is time to apply it. I'm starting out with my 11 inspired outfit on already and a clean face. First, to prime my face, I'm using my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. While that soaks in, I'm just trimming the edges of this prosthetic and using a light brown eyeshadow to mark out where I'm going to be applying it. I'm doing this because I don't want to put any foundation on this area since I'm going to be using Prosade to apply this, and I just end up removing the foundation later anyways. Then really quick, I'm covering the brow that is on the side that's going to be covered with some washable glue. This will protect it from getting ripped out later. I'm then going in with my Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 110, applying it everywhere except where I have mark. And I'm just blending that out with my damp Real Technique sponge. To set that, I'm using my NYX HD setting powder on a large fluffy brush. And then for eyebrows, I'm taking the e.l.f. eyebrow kit in the shade medium and going in with the pomade side to fill in my brows the same way I normally would. Or I guess I should say brow since I'm only filling in the one. For contour, I'm taking my Sephora Colorful Contour Color and this angled brush, and I'm just contouring the side of my face that isn't going to be covered, as well as underneath my jawline. Going into the Modern Renaissance palette for the eyes, I'm taking the shade Warm Taupe all over my lid first, then going in with Cypress Umber in the inner and outer corners, creating a halo eye. I'm just going back and forth with those shades to blend it, and then taking Vermeer just on my finger and patting that in the middle. For this look, I decided to just skip eyeliner and go right for mascara. I'm using my Maybelline Rocket Volume Mascara, but honestly I don't care for it at all, and I just couldn't find my other mascara, so this just had to do. I just applied that to my top and bottom lashes. For lipstick, I'm first going in with my Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Daddy, and I was so excited because this was actually sitting in a package outside my house when I got there to film, and I love this color so much. Then just to give it a more mauve tone, I'm going lightly over that with some of my Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Androgyny, and this gives it this perfect brownish mauve color, and I love it. Now it's time to apply this Demogorgon mouth over our eye. I'm laying down 2 layers of Prosade first, waiting in between each layer for it to fully dry. You know Prosade is dry because it goes on white but dries clear. Once the second layer is dry, I lined up the prosthetic and started pressing down around the edges to make sure it was all secure. Prosade is a super strong adhesive, and if you can get your hands on it, I would definitely recommend it, especially over spirit gum, which I hate. Then to start blending the edges, I'm going over all of the edges with some liquid latex. This is similar to how you would blend a bald cap, layering the latex to get rid of any harsh lines. The edge on this would be way better if I had been able to sculpt it onto a face cast, but what can you do? The only place that there was a super noticeable edge was the bridge of my nose, since this prosthetic doesn't bend much and it wasn't shaped to fit my face. I fixed this by just adding some more cotton and latex to build up the gap and smooth it out. I then just applied my L'Oreal foundation all over the edges with a damp beauty blender to blend it into my skin. This is pretty difficult in some places just because I can only see out of one eye, which is never fun during a makeup application. Just to add a tiny bit of irritation around the prosthetic, I took some blush from my NYX Sweet Cheeks palette and went around the edges. Then, just add some fake blood dripping down your nose, and you're done. I feel like this Demogorgon look came out so cute, and I just love it. I'm so excited to go and watch season 2 of Stranger Things, which you guys should definitely go do now too. I hope you guys liked this look. It was a really fun process, and I hope to do more stuff like this in the future. I'm trying really hard to push myself creatively and get better at the things I enjoy. If you liked this tutorial, then definitely click that thumbs up button for me if you want, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more of the garbage content that I create. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay spooky. I love you guys. Bye.